Now at 5, a former jail and post office building goes up for sale in Vernon County, Missouri. Plus, safety tips as some hunting seasons get underway in southeast Kansas. And President Biden continues to push for his plan to end cancer as we know it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
3 people, including 2 teens, are killed in an early morning crash. This is KOAM News at 5. It happened just after midnight on Highway 54, 5 miles west of Nevada. Authorities say a pickup driven by 19-year-old Tyler Green of Nevada failed to stop for a stop sign turning onto the highway and was hit by a semi. Green was taken to the hospital where he later died. 2 of his passengers, 24-year-old Allison Bittaker of Nevada and a 17-year-old from Roanoke, Missouri, were also killed. Another 19-year-old passenger from Nevada was seriously injured. The other driver was not hurt. The old Vernon County Jail in Nevada, Missouri is up for sale. In the early 1900s, it was a post office. Then in the 1950s, it became the Vernon County Jail and was used as a jail until 2009. That building is eligible to be on the National Register of Historic Places. The current asking price is $45,000. Tonight at 6, we're going to hear from a man who worked at the jail as a teenager and is now a member of the group selling it. Hunting season is underway in Kansas with deer season starting today. A local law enforcement trainer says hunting accidents are common everywhere because people become complacent when handling guns. He says to always have the safety on when not planning to shoot and keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. He encourages people to always remember things can go badly when least expected. Apparently, we're having some technical difficulties. We can tell you, though, the dove hunting season is also underway in Kansas. The Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes in Fort Scott, Kansas celebrates their 15th anniversary and the grand opening of the Lowell Milken Park. A speaker at the event was Skipper Higgins, who is the grandson of one of the unsung heroes recognized at the center. His grandfather built 23,000 Higgins boats during World War II. Those boats enabled armies to unload on open beaches instead of at heavily guarded ports. The Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes will host an open house tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's check in with Sam Lane for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. It was a pretty chilly morning across the area, but I don't think anyone was really going to complain about that. Radar is all clear this afternoon and is going to remain that way this evening. Let's look at the 36-hour trend on our temperatures. We had a pretty nice day yesterday with highs in the mid-70s. Look at these lows down in the lower 50s, even upper 40s in many locations, but all that dry air allowed the temperature to really warm up today. I'll be back in a minute to tell you if we have any rain chances in our forecast, so you want to stay tuned.
All right, see you soon. The Department of Justice and lawyers for former President Donald Trump have not been able to agree on a set of names a federal judge in Florida can consider as the special master to review documents seized in Mar-a-Lago. Both sides submitted 2 names to the judge and are waiting for her ruling. In a separate filing, the DOJ says the special master should not be allowed to review any documents with top secret markings or any documents covered by executive privilege. President Biden today is in Boston to make another push for his cancer moonshot, which he hopes will, quote, end cancer as we know it. Part of the president's plan is to use funding already passed by Congress for cutting-edge research in prevention, early detection, and treatments. Deborah Alfarone spoke with those affected by cancer who say they hope the president's initiative will result in better and more equitable outcomes.
We choose to go to the moon.
60 years after President John F. Kennedy's famous moonshot speech, President Joe Biden traveled to JFK's home state of Massachusetts to tout new steps in his own cancer moonshot. Biden wants to cut the cancer death rate in half over the next 25 years.
We have a moonshot for cancer, for real. We're going to cure cancer over time. I'm going to lay out how we're going to do that.
The National Cancer Institute is launching a major national study to identify blood tests for early cancer detection that will eventually enroll thousands of participants. It's also opened a new grant opportunity to invest in the next generation of cancer researchers early in their careers. In addition, the president is taking executive action to develop cutting-edge biotechnologies in the U.S. The president first launched his Cancer Moonshot initiative when he was vice president back in 2016 after his son Beau died of brain cancer. He reignited his deeply personal ambition earlier this year. Kellen Morey hopes the president's push will save many lives, even though it's too late for her wife Patricia Moreno. She died from cervical cancer earlier this year at age 57.
Early detection, in my wife's case, would have saved her life. Prevention is absolutely key.
My being alive today is a miracle.
16-year breast cancer survivor Mayma Carmo says the Biden administration's stated focus on equity is also key in the fight against cancer.
We're dying at a faster rate from more aggressive breast cancer. And until we find a way to have people of color have better equitable options in clinical trials and treatments, we will have collateral damage, and that damage will be people's lives.
President Biden has also said that he hopes fighting cancer is an idea that can unite the country and show the world that anything is possible. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
The president has announced his intent to name Dr. Renee Wegerson to become the first head of the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health. That agency was created by President Biden to improve government's ability to speed up health and biomedical research, not just for cancer, but also other major illnesses such as Alzheimer's disease and diabetes. Mourners in Scotland are saying farewell to Queen Elizabeth today as her coffin is brought through the capital city to St. Giles Cathedral, where she'll lie in rest overnight. King Charles, the Queen Consort, and other royal family members will take part in a procession through the Royal Mile in Edinburgh before a church service and vigil later tonight. The King pledged today to follow his mother's example of selfless duty. The Queen's funeral is set for September 19th at Westminster Abbey in London. Still ahead, businesses going green.
This could be the country's first net zero carbon emissions hotel. I'm Michael George in New Haven, Connecticut, and I'll show you how they did it.
And next in Health Watch, what a new study shows about mental health expectations for kids returning to school. Topping today's Health Watch, a new study looks at diabetes deaths in the U.S. and finds more people are dying from diabetes in rural areas. Data suggests rural populations have less access to health care and receive a lower quality of service. The first months of back to school can be nerve-wracking for kids and parents. A recent survey reveals most parents believe their children will experience mental health challenges as they return to school. Christian Benavides has more on how parents and caregivers can help.
Story time at the library.
Back to school has been difficult during the pandemic. Jalen Ziegler had remote kindergarten. Returning to the classroom for first grade was a big transition for her and others.
She experienced some bullying just because, like I said, some of those kids, it was their first time around other students. They kind of had been confined to their own homes the year before, and they just weren't used to that kind of interaction.
Now that second grade is here, her mom says she has additional concerns.
On top of the bullying is that their education isn't really up to speed because it was a lot on us parents to teach them during those years. Some other concerns like explaining to them certain emergencies in the pandemic.
A national survey shows 79% of parents believe their children will face challenges back to school this fall. The survey was conducted on behalf of the Children's Mental Health Movement On Our Sleeves.
The top 3 challenges the parents shared with us were safety concerns, bullying, and then just continued social difficulties because of the pandemic.
Dr. Ariana Hoyt says these concerns can affect a child's mental health, which can then make learning and socializing with peers more difficult. She recommends families have a daily check-in.
Even if you're not worried, it's just to build the habit and that relationship with your child. And we also have back-to-school conversation starters, so open-ended questions for parents to ask their children about how they're feeling and what they're excited about, what they're nervous about.
We work with her on explaining words for different emotions.
They also do activities like taking walks and reading to help decrease stress. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
On Our Sleeves created a back-to-school mental health checklist, and you can find a link to that at KOAMnewsnow.com. Scientists in Europe have discovered particles linked to climate change may also lead to lung cancer in people who have never smoked. The particles are typically found in vehicle exhaust and smoke from fossil fuels and are associated with non-small cell lung cancer. The number of hip fractures worldwide is expected to double by 2050, particularly for men and the elderly. Researchers at the University of Hong Kong say people are living longer and are getting frailer. Their study also noted that osteoporosis is underdiagnosed in men. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, why the Treasury Secretary says we could see gas prices rise again in the winter.
And I'm going to give you a look at the forecast to let you know when summer's going to return, as well as a chance of rain. So stay with us. Well, friends, we had a little bit of a chilly start for the day, but nice sunshine this afternoon helped warm things up, and we're looking at a pleasant evening, even down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice day. Hardly a cloud in the sky across the entire four-state region, and that's what allowed temperatures to warm up quite a bit this afternoon. Let's start out with this morning's lows. Check out these lows. 45 in Veneta and Grove, 48 in Neosho, 48 in Pittsburgh. Pretty popular number. Some areas were in the 50s, like Cassville with 50, Stockton, Greenfield, and 52 over in Branson, and 50 degrees over there in Howard. But as we warmed up through the day, we saw temperatures rising into the low to mid 80s across the area. 87 in Fredonia right now, 85 in Parsons, 83 in Pittsburgh, 82 up the road in Nevada. A little bit cooler down to the south in Cassville and Pineville, where they stayed in the 70s, and also Bentonville, where they're currently sitting at 77 degrees. Beautiful shot on our rangeline cam. No clouds to speak of whatsoever, and 84 was our high after starting out at 49 degrees. Look at this. We were only 3 degrees away from the record set back in 1959. Of course, we don't want to get anywhere close to that record of 97 back in 1956. Over the last few weeks, we've been seeing an up and down temperature-wise. We've had some days below normal, one normal day, and of course today was slightly above normal. We had 84 this afternoon, normal is 83, and we're going to see above normal temperatures through most of the week, and we'll get to that in a moment. Radar is all clear, so we're going to jump right past that. The allergies, though, they've been bad. Although it could be worse, today was 9.6, and tomorrow I think we're going to get a little bit better with 9.4, and of course most of that is ragweed. Temperatures right now, as I showed, are generally in the mid to upper 80s across our area, some 70s off towards the east. And here's the big factor, the dew points. These dew points are in the 40s, and that's what allowing temperatures to drop so low into the morning hours and then rapid warm up during the day. So generally dew points right now are in the low to mid 40s across our area. Currently in Joplin, we're sitting at 83, west wind at 10, feels like 81. That's again because of that low dew point. 26% on the humidity right now. That's pretty low, and the pressure is currently falling. Your future track looks like this. For tonight, we're going to see lows once again quite cool. Not as cool as it was this morning, but still generally double nickel, a pretty popular number like in Columbus and Mound City. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures rising once again into the mid to upper 80s, even some 90s out to the west in Howard and Eureka and Yates Center. A little bit cooler off towards the east in Monette with a high of around 84. Then as we go through tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, we're going to see lows in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees with south winds. Then Wednesday afternoon, temperatures once again close to 90 degrees across our area, and that will continue into Thursday as we start the day with lows in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Over the next 7 days, warm weather returns as we head through the rest of the week into the weekend. And of course, I had to throw in a forecast of 88 degrees for Saturday for the 88 Strong event out there in Webb City with the Christian Haiti Foundation. And then, of course, 93 by Monday, Dow. So we really need some rain in here. That's what we are desperately needing.
And 88 would be an appropriate high.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
The largest wildfire in California this season is still growing, threatening thousands of mountain homes. The Mosquito Fire east of Sacramento has burned more than 46,000 acres and is only 10% contained. 11,000 residents are under evacuation orders. It is only one of more than a dozen large fires burning currently in the western U.S. Coming up, how a hotel was able to achieve net zero carbon emissions. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Chris Burskins served in the U.S. Air Force from 1981 to 1985. The Independence, Kansas native was stationed in Germany, and we salute Senior Airman Chris Burskins, a four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes, thousands of them in our database from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. It's very simple. Click on the link on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Topping today's Consumer Watch, gas prices have fallen 25% from June's record highs. But Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is warning of pain to come. She says fuel costs could spike again this winter as the EU scales back its purchases of Russian oil. Yellen says the move is necessary to cut off funding for Russia's war in Ukraine, but is likely to lead to increased demand and higher prices from other oil and gas suppliers. Time is running out to prevent a nationwide strike by freight railroad workers. A 60-day cooling-off period imposed by the White House is set to expire this week. Negotiators have reported some progress in recent days, but those agreements are tentative and several major issues remain unsettled. The trade group estimates that a work stoppage could cost the U.S. economy as much as $2 billion a day. Industry analysts believe Congress will intervene to prevent a strike, either by imposing a contract on the companies and unions or by extending the cooling off period. More and more people are thinking about their environmental impact when they travel. Well, now hotels are taking notice. Michael George takes us on a tour of what could be the country's first net zero carbon emissions hotel.
The first thing you'll notice about New Haven, Connecticut's Hotel Marcel is the unique architecture. The famed architect Marcel Breuer designed it in the 1960s as an office building, but the inside has received a modern-day makeover. So, what are we looking at here?
So, this is the battery room for Hotel Marcel's microgrid.
Architect and developer Bruce Becker designed this hotel to be all electric. It's self-powered using no fossil fuels, and it also aims to be the first net zero carbon emissions hotel in the nation. Why was this important to you to make this happen?
I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to make a building that's going to be here for a while, that not only will it be beautiful, but it will be beautiful for the environment.
Every inch of the hotel is designed with the environment in mind. Solar panels on the roof and parking lots keep the power on. Electric heat pumps and triple glazed windows moderate the temperature. There are electric car chargers, an electric shuttle van. Even the kitchen has an electric range instead of a gas one. While all this may seem expensive, Becker says it pays for itself.
It also keeps our energy costs down. If you're not using electricity, you net that out, you don't have an electric bill, so that helps financially.
Since opening in May, the no-footprint approach is working, bringing in customers like Edward McLaughlin.
Environmentally, it's highly appealing to me to be somewhere that leaves no footprint on our environment. It's incredibly important.
Becker says it will take a year of testing to confirm his building is truly net zero when it comes to carbon emissions. But he believes others could follow his lead and create a new standard for hotels in the future. Michael George, CBS News, New Haven, Connecticut.
A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Ukrainian forces make gains taking back territory from Russian forces. Then on KOAM News at 6, details on a weekend crash in Barton County, Missouri that killed 2 people, including a teenager. Plus, we're going to have more hunter safety tips as hunting seasons begin in Kansas. And Pitt State earns its way into the top 25 after beating 11th ranked Nebraska Kearney. So stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The temperatures this week, about what you would expect, I guess, for this time of year.
Yeah, just a little bit above normal, not too bad. It could be worse. We could see temperatures close to 100 degrees, but we're going to stay close to 90 degrees, including for Saturday for the 88 Strong event over there in Webb City. And then on the extended, there is some hope on the horizon. Maybe some storms finally in here by the middle part of next week, but that's only one forecast model that's forecasting that. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how that's going to pan out. But we'll take it at this point.
Yeah, I know it's pretty far away and hard to know for certain, but boy, we'll take whatever rain we can get.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.